once we decided we want to create some layers, the place we want to go is the layers property manager. In fact, I'm going to launch that right now on the layers panel. We're going to click this icon right here, layer properties. Now that I've launched that, I'm going to drag it right here. Now this guy looks huge on our screen, but fortunately this is a palette, and whenever we take our cursor off this palette, it's going to auto hide. Now I need this palette to be visible, and we have a lot of things to do with this. I'm going to turn off the auto hide feature there. Now first of all, take a look at this first line here. Here the AutoCAD tells us which layer is the current layer, and in this case it's layer 0. That's because I'm sitting on the default drawing 1, and the layer 0 is the default layer, and we can't turn it off. In fact, we can turn it off, but we can't change the properties of that layer. So let's talk about some properties of these layers here. This check you see here, this represents the current layer. If this is not checked, so that layer is not the current layer. And we have here the name. Now notice that we can't see all of the titles of these tabs here, and for that we can right click on those columns and go to the maximize all columns to see all the names there. And here is the state of the visibility of that layer. We can turn it off by just clicking on it, and whenever we click on the default 0 layer, the layer 0, there's a pop-up here which asks us, this is the default layer, are you sure you want to turn it off? And in this case, maybe we want to turn it off. Now anything in AutoCAD, if there is any drawing in AutoCAD, after turning off this layer, it's going to be hidden. I'm going to turn that back on. Now the freeze is just like the turning on the visibility, but it's for a long period and for the very heavy line works that we don't want that to be regenerated in the AutoCAD to save time and let AutoCAD to work faster. Lock menu, we can lock the layers to not to touch them when selecting or those kind of things. And the other one is the color. We can change the color of that layer, and the line type, we can change the line type, line weight, and we can change the transparency and other kind of things here. Now first of all, let's create some layers. I'm going to click on this new layer, and let's name it object, and enter for that. Now this layer is turned on, and as you see, it's grayed out because there's nothing on this layer. Let's make this layer the default layer, the current layer. Going to, as you see, the checkbox moved here, and I'm going to click this auto hide for now. Let's create some circle. As you see, the color is still white. That's because we didn't change the color. I'm going to change the color. Let's change the color. click on this, and there's a select color dialog box. So then we could change it to yellow for now, and click OK. As you see, the circle's color changed. Let's change the line type here. I'm going to click on that, click on load to load some line type. Now this line types are measured in metric units. Let's change it to dots for now. OK to load it, and OK to change it. Let's change the line weight here. We can change any of these line weights. As you see, this is in metric unit. I'm going to press OK, and we can turn this layer on and off anytime. And because this is the current layer, it's going to warn me. I'm going to turn it on and turn it back on. Let's create another layer here, and let that be the layer 2. And we can change the, as you see, the new layer inherits the properties of the current layer we had, and we can now change this to the current layer, or first change the color here. We can choose from all these 255 default colors here. I'm going to choose, for example, a green here and make it the default layer. Let's draw something. Now let's delete this circle here. And anytime we know we don't need the layer, we could select that layer and just click this X to delete that. But first of all, let's if we double click on the name of any layer, it changes to the current layer, and we can delete that layer by pressing this. And here pops up that the selected layer was not deleted. That's because the layer was not empty, and we can't delete a layer that it's not empty. I'm going to close this, select all these geometries here, delete that, and we can now delete this layer. Now let's create some other lines here. Let's make the layer 0 default layer and create some other lines. As you see, it's being drawn on the layer 0, the default layer, and I'm going to delete these lines and take another look here. The layer is grayed out because there's nothing on this layer, and I can delete it because I don't need it anymore. Anytime you want to create a geometry, ask yourself that if you want to turn off that layer in the process, or you want to change the line type or line weight, and if the answer is yes, then you would want to visit the Layer Properties Manager